turn it this way a little bit. How's it going, everybody? Jim Adkins here from Jim Adkins Kenpo Karate. Week 2 of your quarantine going live, just to kind of give you some updates on what you can start working on next week or this week, if this is the beginning of your week. Actually, Sunday's usually the first day of the week, so let's go. Yellow, orange, and purple belt. Yellow belt, you've been working on your basics. Morning, boy. Upper blocks, inward blocks. We did star blocks. So I want you to expand on that and put some more basics in there. So you're going to work on your punches. You're going to work on your kicks. Now, when you do these punches and kicks as a yellow belt, what I want you to do, I want you to get in your horse stance and stand there, but then I want you to change your stance and get into a fighting stance as well and practice your bow stance. This will bleed into the orange belt lessons, but let's go like this. So for yellow belts, get in your horse stance, open your horse. I'll lower it a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on here down in my basement. Lower your horse stance. You're going to punch. When you punch, make sure that you're pulling your elbows back. You're doing the torque just like the blocks. As you move forward, this is a vertical punch, or excuse me, horizontal punch. You know that. So you got reverse, you got vertical, and you got your two-knuckle punch, right? Reverse, vertical, and two-knuckle punch. Don't just punch the air. Try not to throw your shoulder. Keep your body straight as you can. Now, these are not the most effective punches when it comes to punching for self-defense. But this process is necessary, so I want you to pay attention to how you torque and turn, okay? Striking with the two knuckles, you know how to keep your wrist flat. So if you're yellow and you're working on it, making sure that all those details are in place is very important. We talk about how to punch correctly later in self-defense situations. So why do we do this? Why do we take the time to learn a punch that we may never use? Well, there's discipline involved, there's art involved, there's torque, and this motion itself is not just a punch. So trust me when I say, if you're working on the punch itself or the 3 punches, 1, you're getting tradition. 2, you're learning a lot more than what it is you think you're learning. So there. On that note, when you're practicing your punches, you've heard me say this before, for every strike, designate a target. For every target, a purpose. For every purpose, a reason. For every strike, designate a purpose or a target. So if we have a vertical punch, or we have a two-knuckle punch, or we have a roundhouse or a hook punch, what target are you hitting? And not just what target. Don't say I'm hitting the head. There's 180 targets on the face. Don't expect you to know them yellow. But pick something. Pick the nose. Pick the cheekbone. Pick the side of the chin or the jawline or the hinge of the jaw. Eye socket, temple. Don't pick the forehead. Okay. And then tell me why you're punching to that target. And never make it about hurting somebody. You don't say, I'm going to punch him in the nose to hurt him. That's not who we are. That's not how we train. When you punch the nose, you punch it for a reason. What's that reason? Well, if you hit somebody in the nose, what happens? Head goes back, eyes sometimes water, hands come up. What would be the purpose for wanting that to happen? Well, if they go like this, you can run. If they go like this, you have other target options available. So while you're practicing your basics and your punches and your strikes, pick a target, and every time you punch, visualize that target, visualize the outcome of that target, and then try to put in your mind, what would you do to follow up? Okay, so it's a little deeper than that. Orange belts, same thing. You have a little more advanced weaponry that you're going to start using. Pick 5 weapons: a punch, a chop, an eye shot, an elbow, a forearm, a knee, a snap kick, whatever you want. Get in the stance that you think you're most likely to be taken off guard in. When a self-defense situation happens, we're not always here, right? We're here. This is a reference point. We're here, and it happens, and I fall back into a cat or a crane stance. You know, what weapons do I have available moving forward? Pick your targets, pick your reason for striking that target, and the outcome that you intend. Don't make it pain. You're not going to hurt somebody. That's not what we're looking for, okay? We don't train this. If you're new and you're watching my stuff, I don't teach people to train for pain. It's not going to happen. You don't try to hurt people. That's a different attitude. We are not that person. If they get hurt in the process of trying to attack us, that's on them, not us. We're not about pain. We're not breaking their knee to hurt them. We're not punching them in the nose to hurt them. We punch the nose to get the head to move back, the eyes to water, the hands to come up so we can hit them in the chest and leave. We hit them in the chest and knock the wind out of them so that so we can leave. We can get them to stop. We stomp, dislocate, or destroy their knee to keep them from trying to hurt us further. Never about pain. Follow me? Good. Purple belts. Start putting weapons in there, and let's talk about the weapons theory, okay? Weapons theories include, but are not limited to, get the weapon. When I talk about the 5 on the next video, when I go to the kata, you will hear me talk a little bit about weapons because there's a couple of weapons techniques in the 5, but I won't spend a lot of time. But purple belts, get the weapon. Start learning to recognize where they carry it by carrying it yourself and trying to draw it yourself, and then how to use the weapon. If it's a knife and they're slashing you, know the limits of that, but know what's going to happen, okay? If it's a firearm, if it's a club, if it's a long stick, if it's a chain, whatever weapon they intend to use or you think they might use against you, start looking at the limits, so the pros and cons of each weapon, and put them in each technique you use. For instance, take 5 swords and get a little stick, just a little stick, and put it in one of your hands and do 5 swords with that stick. Then put a stick in their hand and do 5 swords against that stick. Follow me? Okay. Then you do that with any weapon. All right. So that's yellow, orange, and purple. Let's review. Yellow, and everybody on top of this can do it. Practice your punches. Make them perfect. I want 100 each time you 100 each hand. Each time you set out to do them. You can do 20, take a break, do 20, take a break, do 20, take a break, but I want 100. Okay? When you do them with purpose. I don't just want punches. Okay? I want the correct, slow punch. I want you to pick a target, pick a reason for that target, and a purpose for that reason. What's the intended outcome? If you're not understand the words because you're little, talk to your mom and dad. Let's say you're in school, you're in elementary school. You punch differently than an adult would punch. Why? Well, the fight is not going to be as serious. Adults only fight when absolutely necessary. Okay? Kids have scuffles and egos, and so do some stupid adults, but that's beside the point. When you're a youngster and you punch somebody in the nose, you're not doing it to destroy them. You're not doing it to hurt them, but you will notice a certain response. You need to talk to your parents, your grandparents, whoever it is you look up to for morals and ethics, and discuss with them why you would hit somebody in the nose. If they tell you never hit somebody in the nose, you might want to listen to them. I don't know why you're studying. I can teach you other ways not to hit the nose, but really, as long as you're not doing it out of anger or with the intent to hurt somebody, I think it's okay to defend yourself that way. So pick the target, pick the reason, the right reason, never trying to hurt somebody. Got it? Orange belts, you know all this. You've been through it. You're a good student. You're moving forward. Pick 5 weapons that you're going to use them from different stances and different stance changes, always picking a target. Always picking a target, outcome, and reason. Okay, work on your stances. We call it stance strike congruency. When you use a strike to back up a certain, or use a stance, to back up a certain strike, or a motion to back up a certain strike. Busted my heel, not paying attention, or my ankle, so you gotta be careful. All right, so this will be this video. If you have questions, post them. I'm gonna come back in about 1 minute and do blue, green, and brown, and then I'll come back and we'll go outside. Oh, let me take you outside. Yellow, orange, and purple belts. Follow me outside real quick. I got a staff that kata that you guys wanted to do. Let's see if we can get out here. If you're going to get this or not, we'll give it a shot. So which one? Based after you bow, cock, hook, punch, kick, punch, step, strike. Line, pull, all the way down to your post stance. Come back up, step, push, turn, hope you got it. You can rewind that. I hope you got that. If not, I'll try and do it indoors and not tear up some stuff. All right, you guys, I'll see you in a minute.